James and Aubrey did hear that alarm call in this area, and we were just behind Ephraim when he found Queen Karula atop a termite mound on Rebecca's Road. So that's 2 days in a row we've managed to find Karula in this area. Now, can't see how hungry she is or whether she's going to get moving again shortly, but the likelihood is that if we find her sitting out in the open like this, is that she hasn't made a kill. So it's possible. I know she was quite hungry yesterday. I'm sort of surprised she didn't manage to make a kill in the dark, stormy weather of last night. VM says she looks full. Did you were with Byron last night, eh? You saw her? No, I can't remember who was. No, you were with me yesterday. It was Kat, so we're not sure. I didn't see her yesterday, but we'll see when she gets up. Maybe she's snacked on a baby impala, but not enough to call the cubs in. It doesn't seem like there's any carcass around here, and from where the kudu were alarm calling earlier, she's obviously been on the move. Now, it's quite interesting. As the cubs have become older, we have started seeing her more and more on Djuma again, whereas when they were younger, she spent a lot of time to the south of our boundary. You can see those impressive markings on the Queen of Djuma. Now, for a leopard of her age, she's in incredibly good condition. If you look at her ears, just a little bit of tattering starting from all the different bites from those evil stable flies. Oh, she's got a big tick in her ear today. That looks nearly full, so it'll probably drop off soon. But you see those tiny little flies that cause her ears to flick are called stable flies. So the same species or family of flies that attacks domestic dogs and horses. They look very similar to the common housefly, apart from the fact they're evil little bloodsuckers. They occasionally feed on us as well while we're out here. Now, they can cause some problems for big cats. It's never been recorded in South Africa, but lions in Kenya and Tanzania have got serious emancipation problems from a massive infestation of stable flies, which, I mean, they cover nearly their whole body. And in the Ngorongoro crater in the 60s, and it caused the lion population to drop from 75 to 60. And not all of them died. A lot of them just moved away because the flies were so incessant. There she is. Well, great to catch up with Karula for the second day in a row, and it seems like everyone out there has started our second cat streak. We're on day 2. Can we get to that magical 90 days? We nearly got there this time, but 3 months of cats every day. I think the summer months are going to prove to be slightly more difficult to produce that. But you know what? We're up for a challenge. So Karula does move quite a bit during the day and in the heat, which is, well, not unusual, but uncommon for a leopard. Now, you'll notice that a lot of literature, especially older literature on leopards, say they don't move around that much during the day, and that is true for areas where they're heavily persecuted, heavily hunted, or have a lot of conflict with people. But in areas where they're completely protected, you'll notice that quite a few of the leopards will move around any time of the day, and Karula seems to do it a lot. And she also hunts quite a lot during the hot time of the day. And it is quite a good strategy if you're a small leopard like Karula, because you immediately avoid conflict with things like lions and hyenas and male leopards. But hopefully she's going to be on the move and on the hunt a little later. There's a lot of impala around here, a lot of baby impala as well. So you probably find she is going to focus her efforts on those at the moment. And it sometimes makes our life a bit difficult, because when she does catch one, she doesn't leave a nice drag mark for us to follow. And of course, after the rain, the ground is quite hard. So again, tracking is very difficult. But that's where another set of tracking skills comes in. That's where your ears come in, listening for those alarm calls, not only from the big things like kudu, but also from little things like cisticulars and wax balls. They can often lead you to incredible sightings. But while Karula sits atop her termite mound, and while we wait for her to get moving, Byron has got a bird that's ready to pop. Well, she hasn't moved a muscle. She's snoozing on top of that same termite mound we just saw her on. And it does look like she might have eaten something. I didn't see her last night, but apparently she was quite hungry. Now, I keep hearing a Franklin alarm calling, and I'm wondering whether the cubs aren't around here as well. I wonder. Can you say that? And Franklin is very upset, and I doubt it's about Karula. Could also just be a passing slender mongoose. But having two young cubs, she's got to hunt constantly. Well, not so little anymore, and they're two big bellies to feed. Now, if we come out wide there, you can see exactly where we are in comparison. There's quarantine over there, so we know there's lots of baby impalas in that area. But again, it's going to be quite difficult out on that big open area. She needs to catch them on the edge of the thickets. She's breathing quite heavily, not that heavily though. Looks very comfortable on top of that termite mound. I definitely think she might still move. So we're not going anywhere. We're going to stick right here with her. Hopefully she goes hunting. Growling and trying to bite the flies that are biting her. She is still alert. She is looking around. Remember, this is 100% live, so we never know whether an impala or something else might wander in and she might go into stalk mode. Remember, if you want to ask any questions, hashtag Safari Live or questions at WildEarthTV on email. It's still nice and toasty. But as I said, Karula isn't adverse to moving in the heat. Oh, we can hear impala playing, and that's what she's listening to. I could actually see them running in the distance. That's where she's watching. Now those impala are far away on quarantine. Oh, yawn. Oh, it looks like, oh, I thought she might lie down and get a bit more comfortable, but the flies might push her to move. So wonderful. I mean, this beautiful light in this afternoon that's going to come. If she moves off out of the shade, you guys are going to get the most spectacular screenshots. I mean, absolutely golden light here today. Remember to share those screenshots with us. And on our Facebook page or on Twitter with the hashtag Safari Live. What's that on her neck there? Let me see that. Oh, no, I think it's just a burr. A little bit higher. What is that? Something just stuck to her. Oh, yes, it's a burr. And it's amazing that in ancient Greek, a leopard was believed to be a mixture between, or a cross between a lion and a tiger. Now, guys, are wondering what a burr is? It's just a thorny or furry grass or plant seed that gets stuck on to animals' coats. Oh, sorry, Taxi's trying to get you. Go, Tax. No, she's turned now. She's looking back to the north again. Now, those Franklin are still making an alarm call. I wonder if she doesn't have a kill close to here and she's just taking a time out from the cubs. And Franklin has been alarm calling every 5 or 6 minutes since we've been here. And strange enough, leopards were one of the first animals to be classified under the Linnaeus system, under the modern system of biological classification, in 1758. But it's changed a bit since then. All leopards and lions and all cats in those days were all felis, and until they discovered the difference in the hyoid apparatus and other things, and then the bigger cats became panthera, and the others went to felis. Mary is wondering, is there any particular plant like citronella that the animals will rub itself on to keep the flies off? No, Mary, not that I know of. I've never seen them show that type of behavior ever, I'm afraid. No, unfortunately, don't know about that type of stuff. Now, another interesting thing, if we look back into a leopard's history, is that the last common ancestor for all the current big cats was, if I remember correctly, about 6.7 million years ago. No, I think that was too long. Sorry, 1 second. 6.3 million years ago. So the last common ancestor of lion, tiger, leopard, jaguar, and snow leopard, and the clouded leopard is believed to have emerged in Asia, so around 6.3 million years ago, and from there the animals have diversified into those other different creatures. Now, even though a snow leopard is a leopard, it looks like from its historical ancestry that it's probably closer to a tiger. And out of the Panthera lineage out of the ones we know, sort of lion and leopard. A leopard came into being probably quite a bit before lions did. But even still then, a leopard is relatively closely related to all the other big Panthera cats, but it's somewhere between a lion and a snow leopard. So the earliest thinking of when a leopard evolved in Africa in its current form, like we're looking at now, is about 825,000 years ago. So lions are about 250 to 300,000 years ago, so quite a bit older than lions. And of course leopards were spread throughout Europe as well. And they survived till about 25,000 years ago through a lot of Europe. Now, up until the sort of 1900s or maybe late 1800s, there were leopards that were said to survive in Turkey. Or they still survive in Turkey, but in Greece and in Portugal. But I think those are now completely extinct. Now, leopard densities and territories are sort of quite a very interesting thing that's always in flux, and it changes from time to time. And in this case, in the Sabi Sands, we've got relatively small leopard territories compared to other parts of Africa. In the northern Sabi Sands, though, we've got bigger territories than in the southern Sabi Sands. So in this area, your average female territory is around 1,000 hectares, and males 4,000 to 5,000 hectares. And if you go down to the Sand River, where there's higher density of impala and yala in a smaller area, your female territories drop to about 400 to 600 hectares, and your male territories down to about 2,000 hectares. And Karula's actually got quite a big territory for a female leopard, probably 1,200, 1,300 hectares. But if we take, for example, Kalahari leopards or Cape leopards, their territories are massive in comparison. So one Cape leopard that lives up in the Cedarburg Mountains, who was collared, his territory is estimated to be 250,000 hectares. So what's that? 4 times the size of the whole Sabi Sands. Now, most of that is always to do with prey density. So we're blessed here in the Sabi Sands with high prey density, so they don't have to have massive territories to survive, and there's always available prey in the territories. Now, in the deserts or in the mountain ranges, that's not always the case. And in a lot of cases in those extreme areas, leopards will eat have a much more varied diet. So a lot more things like scrub hares and rodents and termites and birds eggs. Where there's an area like this, they almost exclusively, their main source of protein always comes from small to medium-sized antelope. Now, I'm hoping Queen Karula does head off hunting at some point. But she deserves a rest. It's been a hot day and she has been moving around in the heat. So while we wait for her to get moving, let's go see what Commander Bond's up to on foot. Welcome Windsor Woods Elementary School. My name's Brent. I've got VM on camera and we've got a surprise for you. It is our favorite female leopard. Her name is Karula and she's on the hunt. Look at that. Isn't she absolutely beautiful? Now she's hunting for small to medium-sized antelope, moving through the bush, moving from termite mound to termite mound, using it to, oopsie, sorry about my head, to get a good view up ahead. There's lots of impala and other animals in this area, so she's definitely on the hunt. She's got 2 babies to feed that are about 10 months old, and they eat a lot. probably just like you guys do at home, and she's out. She's got to work a bit harder. She can't just stop down to the grocery store to pick up some food. She's got to go catch it. Oh, it looks like she's taking a break. Now, leopards like to lie on these big termite mounds, and it's a good spot where she can see. It gives her a bit of height to see all around her, to see if there's any potential meals about, or if there's any potential danger about, like lions. Hello, Megan. Megan, this isn't a cheetah, this is a leopard. And you can see its cheetah has single spots, whereas a leopard has rosettes. You can see multiple spots making up sort of circles. And this is a leopard, not a cheetah. And their fur on their bellies is quite soft. The rest of their fur is quite soft. Quite coarse. So it's got to be tough to protect them from all the thorns and trees and bushes that are out here. So she's listening as well. She's trying to hear if there's any animals around. And it's very hot today. It's been close to 100 degrees Fahrenheit. So being a big cat, she doesn't like the heat too much. They can't sweat like we can. So quite often they'll move for a little bit, then they'll lie down. It is getting cooler quite quickly. So we're with her at the right time of the day to catch her on the move. Hi, Rocky. Rocky would like to know if I know how many animals are out here. Well, Rocky, I've got an idea. I don't have exact numbers. We see probably 10 different leopards regularly. We see 15, 16, 17, 18, between about 16 or 17 different lions regularly. Elephants, we probably see a couple of hundred different elephants regularly. We don't know exactly how many animals are out there. We can just make educated guesses. This female leopard we see a lot. She's the main female leopard in this area, so her territory is here. So we do see her quite often. So we're going to wait here with this leopard to see what it does next. But I'm not the only one out here showing you the African bush. And this female leopard is not the only creature here. So let's go see what Byron's got. Welcome back. We're still sitting with the female leopard. She's taking a little cat nap on top of the termite mound. Now, Sincere wants to know, why do leopards and cheetah look so similar? Well, there's a couple of reasons. It's a good camouflage. So spots or rosettes help break up the outline of the animal. But if you look closely, their body shape is quite different. Leopards are stockier, more compact. They actually weigh quite a lot more than a cheetah, even though a cheetah is taller. Cheetahs are skinny and long. Leopards are sort of quite thickly built. And leopards are ambush predators, which means they have to get very close before they can jump on and catch something, whereas a cheetah, with its incredible speed, can run for 100 meters or 200 meters at about 100 kilometers an hour, so very, very fast. Now, Sincere was also wondering, why is it called a leopard? And of course, most animal names come from way back when. And the source of a leopard's name, it comes from the olden days and from ancient Greek, actually. And it is also from Sanskrit. It's a couple of different language, also Egyptian, and it basically meant a lion. It was a panther crossed with a lion. Now a panther is actually a leopard as well, so a black panther is just a leopard with a rare color morph. But that's where a leopard's name comes from. It's from ancient Greek and ancient Egyptian. Well, Samantha is wondering, what are all the bugs flying around the leopard's face? So, Samantha, you've just seen those same bugs with Byron, and they are the biting flies called stable flies that are trying to bite the leopard's ears and nose and any area that is slightly less exposed, or more exposed, sorry, so where there's not a lot of fur. Those biting flies like to feed off the blood of all sorts of animals, not only leopards and lions, but wildebeest and zebra and impala, but also domestic animals, horses, dogs, sheep, goats. Now, she's still very alert while she's sitting up there, watching carefully, listening carefully. Well, hi, Bryn's wondering, how do leopards get their food? Are they on a farm? Well, Bryn, they are out in the wild, so they've got to catch it for themselves. No one here to feed them. And this is an 8.5 million acre unfenced area that is for the wild animals to live in. And so she's got to try find some food, and then she's got to sneak up to it, and then she's got to jump on top of it and then kill it with her big teeth. Now, as it gets darker and the sun sets, it is time for the leopard to go hunting. So she has been hunting. She's an opportunist. She'll hunt day or night, but it's generally better when it's dark because she's got very good eyesight, about 8 times better than ours in the dark, and so better than the animals she's trying to catch. Hello, Ryan. Ryan would like to know, how do the animals survive in this hot weather? Well, Ryan, they don't move too much, and they sleep in the shade. But so if they do have to move, they'll move for a short while, then they'll lie down and sleep again, and then once it cools down or their body cools down, they get up and move again. You can see she's breathing very heavily. That's her way of cooling. So she's got lots of blood vessels or veins in her mouth. And what happens is, as she breathes, the air she breathes in cools down the blood in her mouth, and then she pumps that through to the rest of her body. Copy, Andrew. Sorry, I was just on the radio there quickly, talking to Andrew. He's been sitting here with this leopard, but he's gone now. So I'm going to move forward a little bit. There she is, the Queen of Djuma. Hi, Megan. Megan's wondering, are the big cats friends? Do they play with each other or do they hunt each other? Now, Megan, a lion is much bigger than a leopard and they don't like each other. So if a lion was to come across the leopard, it would try to kill it. Now, a leopard, if they came across lion babies without a big lion there, the leopard would also try to kill the lion's babies. So they are not friends, they are enemies. They're enemies because they compete for similar food sources. Oh, has she heard something? Now, Ryan's wondering, why do these leopards have black lips or black lines? Well, the black bottom lip is actually, that's the color of her skin, Ryan, and that's why it's black. So, and you see the white under her eyes, or the light color around her eyes, helps her see better in the dark. There we go. She's very alert now. She's getting ready to go hunting now. Although she has been hunting, this is the best time of the day as it goes into dark and leopards get moving because it's a bit cooler. They're able to move without getting too hot. Alan would like to know, what is a leopard's prey? Well, Alan, leopards eat small to medium-sized antelope. So from things as small as a rabbit or a hare, up to things about as big as, I'm trying to think, or a bit bigger than a white-tailed deer. So in this area, a leopard's favorite food is normally the impala, which is a type of antelope. And it's the most numerous antelope we have here. So that's the one they eat the most. Now I'm trying to remember if I've got a picture of an impala for you. Yeah, lots of pictures of lions and leopards, but where's the picture of the impala? I can't find a picture of impala, but I have a picture of an inyala, which is another thing a leopard eats. There we go. Oopsie. Oh, I've pushed the wrong button. There it is. So that's an inyala antelope. That's a big male. That would probably only be taken down by a male leopard, not a female leopard. It's a bit big, but that's one of the antelope that a leopard eats. So a bit bigger than a white-tailed deer. Normally things about the same size as a white-tailed deer and smaller is what a leopard prefers to eat. Now we are hoping she is going to get moving shortly. Looking around, listening, trying to figure out where the other animals are, where her dinner is. Hi, Mackenzie. Mackenzie's wondering, do leopards find water easily? They do, Mackenzie, and they will drink when they have the choice to. But leopards are one of those animals that don't need to drink water. They get enough moisture from the blood of the animals they kill. But if there is water around, they will drink. You can see those big canine teeth that are used for gripping onto potential prey species. But hopefully she's going to get moving. We're going to sit here, keep an eye on her. While we do that, let's go back to Byron, who's with those gorgeous lions. So there we go. She's on the move. She's hunting through the woodland. She's walking, stopping, listening, trying to find her dinner and dinner for her two babies that she's left hidden in a bush somewhere. I'm going to keep following her. Hi, Mackenzie. Mackenzie's wondering, why don't big cats' eyes look like ours? Well, Mackenzie, because they're designed for a completely different thing. So, of course, they're all designed to see, but a big cat's eyes don't see detail like we do. It sees in various shades of grey and black and white, and her eyes are designed specifically to pick up little bits of movement through the bush, whereas ours, we need to see colour, we need to see detail, so we don't eat the wrong fruit, or we don't eat unripe fruit. So she doesn't need to see in colour, and her eyes are designed to pick up movement of animals, so that's better in black and white when there's less colours to distract her. So there we go. She's probably going to scent mark now. What that means, there we go, she's going to do it now. See, she sprays a little bit of urine. Oh, tired kitty yawning. And then what that does is tells all the other leopards that this is her. Oh, wasn't that amazing? That is a leopard's roar. She's doing that with the scent mark. That's to tell all other leopards that this is her territory and they mustn't come here. So it's the equivalent if we had to put up a fence around our property. She marks it with urine and then she calls, saying, "It's mine, it's mine, it's mine, it's mine." Now, quite often you will find leopards walking down a road like this, although we've been following her through the bush. Now, a lot of these roads are built where there used to be big game paths, so now it's just like a double-laned highway for animals. Here we go. That's really special. You don't get to see them call too often. Now, Lance is wondering, how would the leopards respond if there was a wildfire? Well, Lance, the leopards would get out of the way. They're very, very quick, and they normally get far away from a wildfire or find a spot where they're safe from it. So they're not really in danger from wildfires. Most of the animals in the bush here are very good at getting away from wildfires. Wildfires, sorry. And only really the smaller things like tortoises and chameleons get caught up in the fires. So here we go. Isn't this exciting? We're following a leopard on her evening hunt, her evening stroll. Although she's calling, so it could be, you could say, her evening territorial marking and a territorial march. Make sure no other leopards are coming into her area. Now, as that leopard walks, you can see its shoulder blades sticking out quite prominently. And Samantha's wondering why, and can you tell me about the shoulder blades? Well, they're very, very supple, Samantha. So her shoulder blades need to have that amount of movement because she can run very fast. She can do about 22 meters per second. She also needs to be very supple to climb trees. So that's why her shoulder blades come out when she walks like that. Hi, Mackenzie. Mackenzie's wondering, do the tails of cats help with anything? Well, you can see there's a white tip to that leopard's tail. That's to help the babies follow her when she's moving through the bush. And also, their tails help with balance. So it helps them when they're going very fast or climbing trees, just to even out their balance. Now, in cheetah, it's very important. It helps, almost acts as a rudder when they're running very fast to help them not fall over. Well, she's stopping for her evening constitutional, and she might call again now. There's another big marula next to her, that one there. Now, that means she might scent mark that. So they generally like to scent mark prominent trees along routes. So there we go. Putting up her fence. Well, not going to call this time. She is heading to an area where there's often a lot of impala, so she might be listening to see if there's a possible meal around the corner. Hi, Kyra. Kyra's wondering, have big cats over time become carnivores? I think they evolved as carnivores from very, very early on, Kyra. So they've been carnivores for as long as they've been big cats. Now, all different animals have different niches, and they're obviously a carnivore. We're an omnivore, so we eat both. And then, of course, antelope and deer, those are herbivores, so they only eat grass or leaves. Hi, Samantha. Samantha is wondering, why are the leopard's paws black? Well, it's the same reason their lip is black. It's the color of their skin. And the same reason why your dog's paws are black. It's also probably been hardened and got some dirt on it, which makes it even darker. Now, Lance is wondering, if a leopard lost her babies, how would she find them? Well, Lance, she would call, like we saw there, but if she thinks they're close by, she would call much softer with a sort of call that sounds like this. Ow, ow. Or chuff, which is when she puffs up her cheeks and goes. But if she can't find them for a while, she will call like we just saw her calling that. Now, Sincere is wondering, does this leopard know that we're following her in our car? I'm pretty sure she does, Sincere, but she is used to the cars, and if we drive carefully and we don't disturb her, she just completely ignores us. So she carries on doing what she would do even if we weren't here. See how she stops and listens every little while, and that's to check if there's any potential food up ahead. There we go, she's going to put up her fence again. Now, it rained last night, which means her fence probably got washed away, or the smell of her fence. That's why she's walking and scent marking again. Now, the most wonderful thing about a leopard scent mark is that it smells exactly like buttered popcorn. It's a very pleasant smell. While we keep following her to see what she does next, let's go back to Byron, who says the lions are looking a little bit more awake. Well, welcome back to everyone. It is really important that we help to educate the future conservationists of the world. So thanks for bearing with us through that. And it is fun for us as well to entertain the kids. But we're still with Karula. She is heading now towards the western, or towards vertical access junction with Zoe's road. She's just moved off the road slightly. This is the longest she's walked on a road since I've been following in a while. VM and I were commenting it was quite pleasant not to have to try and maneuver through the bush after her. Oh, sorry, I forgot my hat. And it's very hot. There's not a breath of wind. I just need to give an update to the game drive on the game drive radio. Karula's mobile north along Zoe's towards vertical access. Oh, it looks like our... Come on, Karula, come back to the road. Oh dear. I think she's going to head into these thickets now. And as I said, she's quite hungry. She's got 2 babies to feed. There's a good chance there's some impala in this area. See, her tail's up. She's been spotted by a fork-tailed drongo that was shouting. Come back towards the road, Karula. Hi, Jay. Jay's wondering how many subspecies of leopard there are in the world. Well, Jay, that's quite a difficult question. I'm going to have to double check on that for you, but I'm going to have to keep up with her as well. If she goes into an area that's too thick, we're going to leave her be. Can still make her out. It's not that far from here towards the power lines. That's why I'm going to stick with her. But if I feel us crashing around might affect her hunt, then I'm just going to let her disappear into the darkness. But at the moment, she's just scent marking prominent spots. Okay, so there we go, Jay. I found that what I was looking for while she stopped to scent mark. The ICUN recognized different 9 species in the world. The African leopard, sub-Saharan Africa, the Indian leopard, the Javan leopard, the Arabian leopard, the Amma leopard, the North Chinese leopard, and Persian leopard, the Indo-Chinese leopard, and the Sri Lankan leopard, and last but not least, the Anatolian leopard in Turkey, and then a possible, not confirmed, another one, the Balochistan leopard, Pakistan, bordering with Afghanistan, but that one, they don't have enough genetics to confirm that. Ooh. Can you still see her, Vim? Okay. 11 o'clock. Well, there's one termite mound. We'll go to the termite mound. It looks like it's getting a bit thick on the other side. But if we can't see her from that termite mound, I think we'll let her hunt in peace. She does have those 2 hungry little monsters to feed. The other option is we could leave her and then try guess where she's going to pop out towards the power lines. That might be an option. Yeah, I know. And here's the termite mound. She's not here. It's getting a little thick. And of course, I don't want to interfere in her hunt. I want her to be as successful as possible to feed those 2 little tykes. So we're going to let her disappear. What I might do is shoot around to where the power lines are and try guess where she's going to come out and wait there. We might see her, we might not, but I'd rather her have the best chance at hunting without us crashing around after her. In the meantime, let's go back to Byron and those lions.